Hey everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Thursday, and that means it's Poppin' Bravo. And guys, today I'm excited because I have a first-time guest, hopefully not an only-time guest. It's Kiki Monique from the Talk of Shame. You guys know her from her amazing Instagram and her boots on the ground reporting. And Reality Check. You're on Reality Check now too.
I am. It's so
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. Hey Kiki, it's very nice to meet you, and it's very nice to have you on. I've been trying to get you on for a while, but I think I had the wrong email address or something.
Yeah, some people leave off the They're just like,
Mhm.
talk of shame.
I'm gonna blame Ryan Bailey because he gave me your email address a long time ago,
Oh,
and
he's always at fault. Yeah.
I'm gonna we'll blame he's not gonna listen, so we'll just blame him. We'll just blame him. It's okay. Speaking of you LA people, I was just asking you. I want to make sure we're up to date on this fire information. We are recording this Wednesday, but is the situation with the fires is so it's in the Malibu area, which seems to be where it is usually.
Yeah.
Camille Grammer, no, she just told us a couple of weeks ago about her house burning down. Um, but is it because the way the wind is shifting, the fire is like picking up and moving?
Yeah, we already knew that the Santa Ana winds were going to be bad. Everyone knew that this was going to be bad. But then just like all of these different fires started popping up. And in places we don't normally even get fires. Like there was like fires in like WeHo. I think there was some in downtown. And like we don't normally
Really?
get them in sort of mid area. But then now there's sort of three big fires. The main two happening in the Palisades, and one, the Eaton fire that's happening in Pasadena.
Mm,
And this one's just so different because like we have, Malibu does see a lot of fires, but this time it's just kind of roaring down the PCH and taking out some just like landmarks and just homes, and just
mm.
it's like awful. I think I read today that Moon Shadows, which is like a really popular restaurant on PCH. I think Vanderpump people will know it because a lot of the Vanderpump Rules people would go there for things
Yeah.
sometimes. But yeah, just a lot of these places that I love that area. I just got to go to Giorgio Baldi for the first time the other day, which is right in that Palisades area. And it's just devastating. And I know a lot of people think it's like, oh, it's just rich people and stuff. But no, these are communities. People like Palisades High burned down. Like this is like, these are
Wow.
long-standing communities. So and with these winds, that's what just really, one ember can go like go like a mile away and just start another fire. And we heard Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag, their house burned down. It's just so sad.
It's really sad. And by the way, even if it is only rich people's houses, it's still
It's
your
still
house.
human, exactly.
It,
You
it,
losing everything. I can't imagine in an instant, losing your every memory.
yeah, but I think that Malibu, just from my understanding, yes, it is a lot of rich people live there because it's oceanfront and all that. But there are lots of just like little surfing communities, things there that have nothing to do with the
Horse
rich people.
communities,
Yeah, oh
yeah.
yeah, the horse communities too.
Hmm.
Never forget Teddy Mellencamp and her lover in Malibu. We saw Malibu just this week on the Beverly Hills episode because Boj and her man went down to the beach there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a pretty backdrop. It's just like, I mean, I have so many. I just love driving down the PCH to like just clear my mind. It would just be what I did. And like, I'm going to be so sad the next time I drive down it because I can't even imagine. I mean, I look out my window now, and again, I'm not, I'm probably 10 miles from where the main fire is. But my house feels like I woke up. I could smell the smoke.
Yeah.
The sky is gray. It's just,
It's I gotta tell you, living in California really is it's a toss up, isn't it? It's you get the beautiful weather and you've got the mountains and the beaches but then you just get these natural disasters like crazy.
I know, but I think people also have to remember that like people are so used to states that are like normal size. California is not a normal size. It's the fifth largest GDP in the world. So it's like when
Yeah.
you think about it in those terms of like, yes, disasters happen. When something is this large, it's to be expected. So it's sad. It is a toss up, but I just obviously when people come together, they really come together.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good because even me here in Virginia, I'm like, checking on all my LA people because just in life, because California is so big, you just know people. I have family that lives in California,
Yeah.
and then you just know people. And then being in this business, of course, we know lots of people that live in
Yeah.
LA, you included. So yeah, everybody out there, just if they tell you to evacuate, just get in your car and get to going.
Yeah. Just run.
Yeah, because I think let me tell you what, if I was you and it was within 10 miles, I'd be like, 10 miles is close.
It does feel
Yes.
that way, especially when I woke up and I was like, why do I smell smoke? And and it's also, again, the wind is what is making it super scary, because in addition to the smoke, there's like trash cans that are just like flying and hitting my house because it's a
Yeah.
100-mile-per-hour winds. And so
Jeez.
I don't even really want to go outside because I'm like, am I gonna get knocked out by a trash can? Or like, it's
Yeah, yeah.
wild.
Yeah, and it's also like, and if you get in your car and go, where are you going? You know, and then
Exactly.
yeah. Oh my God. Well, I
At
hope
least
that
the year can only go up from here, right? It's the beginning of the year.
that is a great point. If you start off with a terrible natural disaster,
Yeah.
you can't really get any worse.
Yeah.
Well, I think that hopefully they'll get it under control soon enough. And I guess again, it's hard to control because if they spray from the sky with the winds, wow, wow. Well, okay. Well, I'm sorry that we had to start on a somber note, but I did just want to let everybody know that I'm thinking of the LA people. Like again, you live in LA, you get that beautiful weather, but sometimes you get a fire.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
You get a
yeah.
fire, yeah.
But I mean, I live in DC, so I mean, you know,
You
God
might get an
knows.
insurrection.
Listen, we're only 1 year, 2 days past the
Right.
last one, so who knows what's going to happen in a
Yeah.
couple of weeks? You never know what could happen
Yeah, you
here.
never
So I
know.
don't know why I'm acting like LA is crazy. Um, so okay, so you do a lot of Bravo chat, and then you cover a lot of pop culture, and just news as well a lot of the times. So how do you, Kiki Monique, keep up with everything going on?
You know, I was trying to like decide that the other day either, because I was like, what do I want to make sure that I'm focusing on? Because I know a lot of people came to me and they thought I was a Bravo account, and I was like, I don't want to just be a Bravo account because I like to talk about a lot of things that are trending.
Yeah.
And so I really narrowed it down to like news you're nosy about, and obviously
Okay.
Bravo and reality shows are a huge part of that, but so is everything that's trending. Like for instance, fires. People want to know what's happening and stuff like that. So I really look at it through the lens of like, what piques my interest and what are the things that like people are talking about today that other people may not have the time to read about but want to know like the top line, like what's happening. So
Yes.
if they had to share the information or if people were talking about it, they wouldn't feel out of the loop. And that's sort of the lens I look at it through.
Yes, that's exactly right. And I go to your account a lot, and because it's your cute little curly hair in the corner going, here's the story. And but you've got a picture of like Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and then, Ryan Gosling, and you're in the corner telling us about it. I'm like, this is what I need. I
Yeah.
need, I need the highlights. I need the talking points. And so you're giving us that. The Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni thing, I can't make heads or tails. Every time I think I've got a grasp on it, somebody else sues somebody else or a publication. I'm like, I'm gonna need to go ahead a few months before I can see how this is gonna shake out.
Yeah, there's going to have to be a recap. Like I literally, before I got on with you, was making another video because, his lawyers did, a Megyn Kelly interview. So it's like, it's changing the narrative again because more information's coming out. So, and this will go on forever. Lawsuits take forever to get to the courts. We
Yeah,
remember Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, we were
yeah,
talking about things from years before. So, yeah, we'll need a recap. And that's why people, I think, need that sort of it distilled, because it's like, it does get so caught up and so many people are talking about it. And you're like, I don't know. And so I like to make it as simple as possible.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. Another big story, of course, we've got Puff Daddy. Now, is Puff Daddy's trial literally going to start like in January?
I thought it March? I thought it was for some reason March is what I had in
Okay,
my head. I
it's
don't remember
very
the.
soon.
And like, I wonder if it'll get delayed for any reason. I think he would probably rather have it sooner than later, because the longer it, first of all, I mean, he's in prison, and so
Yeah,
he thinks, he'll be vindicated and he'll be out. So he wants it. And I think he also thinks that the faster it is, the harder it will be to like gather evidence, or I don't know what he's really thinking, but I mean, I definitely would love, it's going to be a federal trial, so it's not going to be televised. So I mean, I'm thinking maybe I want to go to New York and I want to see this trial in
hmm
person.
hmm What trial did you go to? Was it Jen Shaw?
So I went to Chom Girardi's trial. I was, that
Yes.
was in LA. So I went to
hmm
that every day. And then I haven't really had to do too many in-persons because, again, Johnny Depp was televised, luckily.
That was here, right
Yeah.
by me. Yes,
And then a
yes.
lot of the LA trials just keep they've been delayed. One of the ones I've been interested in have been delayed. I didn't get to go to the Jen Saw trial. That was in New York and I was already in LA.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to keep track of the ones that interest me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you go to the Puff Daddy trial, that'll be something. Let me know if you're in New York. I'll hop on a train. I'll come right
Okay.
up. I'll come right up. Any excuse to go to New York at any time. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I can go. I can go. Puff Daddy Child. That's just that's a write off for my
Yeah.
business. Yeah, sure. Now, what other big stories are we talking about? The Blake Lively one seems to be kind of dominating the news, but and then we had Aubrey Plaza's husband took his life, which was devastating. I know nothing about the husband. I know he's a famous director.
Yeah, he's like a director. I think Life of Beth, or I can't remember the name. With I think that was a Molly Shannon.
Mm,
And it kind of comes at an interesting time because Allison Holker, who was married
hmm.
to Twitch, just
Yes,
came out with her memoir, and that's kind of big news. And
people
it's
are
kind of
upset about that.
people are really upset. It's
Yeah.
and I've been trying to, I do want to do a video about it because I've been trying to like listen to both sides. Because on one hand, if you have a husband and you've had children and a family, and you want to share your side of the story so anyone else going through this trauma, a la, like an Aubrey Plaza, like wants to feel connected and read your story, you should be able to do that. But I also see the other side of it, because if she's exposing some of his childhood traumas and these things that he can't defend himself, I can understand why the family would be upset about that, because it's,
Hmm.
so I do want to read more into that story as well, because yeah, people are really, really upset about that.
People seem to think it's a money grab on her side, but your point is valid as well. Is that like, well, she has the right to tell her story, and she was married to this very famous person. She had no idea that he was going through such turmoil that he would do such a thing. And then she's saying that she found, drug paraphernalia or drugs or something. I didn't get exactly what, it was sort of like a
It
People
was very
headline.
vague. Yeah.
Yeah. And people are like, oh, she shouldn't be saying that. I was like, no, I think from my perspective, her point is she really didn't know. She really was married to this person, had children, had a life, seemingly everything was wonderful. And then to find out he sort of had all this secret thing he was hiding. And I didn't hear it as she's talking ill of him. It's more like, I wish I would have known so I could have helped him. I didn't know what he was going through. But again, I'm only seeing clips, so I don't have it. Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, it is telling though when, a friend does come out, who was a friend of hers and his, is saying that she thinks that this is completely despicable of her. And then when you start
Ooh.
hearing the family saying that she is supposedly not letting them have, see their kids, I
Oh, yeah.
guess like, it gets messy. And again, this is why it's like, oh, I hate when like certain kind of family, especially when there's young kids involved and they're
Yeah.
going to see this play out. It's
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's two sides to it. So, okay. Now tell me about what do you watch on TV? So I know that you watch Bravo
yeah.
because it's your job, sort of. But what else do you watch? If you're just like, okay, I've got a Tuesday night and I actually have no stories to report on, what are you just going to watch that you're not going to be trying to report on?
I try to go back and forth. I like to put in a lot of scripted stuff because I watch so much reality. It's like I
Yeah.
need really good scripted stuff just to get my mind, or just like even like I'm really into Matlock. I didn't think the new Matlock with Kathy Bates.
Okay. Uh-huh.
It's so random because I never
Yeah.
thought I would be into that.
Yeah.
But I love that as just like a way to just like, oh, get my mind off of something silly. Or Elsbeth, with I think Carrie Ann Moss, I think is her name. Like
Okay.
silly things like that. I'm really in, Taylor Sheridan. I'm really into his series, even though him as a person, sometimes he annoys me. He's like too much of a fake cowboy, but I do love all of his series.
Okay. So you like Yellowstone?
Yellowstone,
Okay.
Landman, Lioness. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, got it. Got it. So
And
are you
then
into like The Bear, Bad Sisters, like stuff like that?
I love the bear, the penguin that was on Max. That was amazing. And I thought it should have gotten all the awards. And I think I need to start Shogun because it won all these Golden Globes and I've never watched it and people seem to really
Same.
love it.
Yeah, same. I just don't know if I'm into martial arts, and I really sort of everybody that listens knows I really am not into anything historical.
And I trust
Yeah.
there's one friend I trust really, and she said she couldn't get through it. So I was kind of like, oh gosh, if she couldn't like it, I don't know what to
Yeah.
do. But I also just really love docuseries. I love
Mm.
and it's because it's another version of reality, but I feel like I'm learning something. Like
A
I
little more
just like
serious.
learn,
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Did you watch Bad Sisters though?
I haven't. I've heard it's good though.
Kiki, get on it. There's
Okay, really?
there's only two seasons.
Okay.
and it's Sharon Horgan who did Catastrophe, and she's done some other things. And once I watched the first season of Bad Sisters, well, I was like, well, now I'm obsessed with this Sharon Horgan, who was like one of the writers. So then I went and watched all the things she's done. She's Irish. So it's these Irish sisters. And the premise of the first season is they all hate the one sister's husband, and they're all separately without trying to figure out ways to kill him, but they're not telling they later are like, you tried to kill him, I tried to kill him. That's not a spoiler, but that's sort of how the first season goes. And it's just beautiful. It's in Ireland, and it's sort of like a very dark comedy. It's great. And the second season,
the Irish. I love dark comedy.
Yeah, you will love it. You will love it.
And that's on Apple TV, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I just finished Shrinking, so I need some new Apple TV stuff.
I think we're gonna. I watched Shrinking when it first came out. I don't know how many seasons there are now. 2 or 3.
I think I just finished the third.
Yeah. So I started watching it when it first came out, and then I liked it fine. But then I kind of like dropped off for whatever reason. But we're about to go, the whole family about to go on a vacation, and my husband and I never watch anything together ever. And because he's like sports and I'm reality TV. So he was like, we got to come up with a show. I was like, all right. I was like, maybe we'll do Shrinking. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. And oh God, it's in Pasadena, which will be like, oh
no. Now they're going to have to go into therapy about
I know. They'll have to talk about,
Yeah. How often a week are you on Reality Checked now?
So I basically do every Monday. I'm the Monday girl. And then I do like every other Thursday. So they kind of do Thursdays is rotating, but I'm mostly the Monday girl.
Monday girl. Okay, everybody. Reality Checked. You guys know that was this show on Radio Andy, and ever since Amy Phillips left, they do rotating hosts. I'm still listening. I think it's great, and I know that you're on. I just didn't know if you're on once or twice a week.
Yeah, some weeks twice, but mostly once. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and you guys, that's a great show on Radio Andy. If you're into the Sirius XM content, like I am, as if I have lots of time. But I wanted to tell you. So I talk about all the time, like, Bravo doesn't give anybody screeners, and then they really gatekeep those screeners. They happily gave me all the screeners for Soldo and SLC because it's a new show. So they're like, please take all the screeners. Will you do interviews? Because it's a new show. So I'm loving that. I'm covering that with my producer on our Prime paid feed on Thursdays, and I'm liking it. Are you watching Soldo and SLC?
I'm watching it. I'm interested because I think the last episode I saw, we were about to find out that what's his name has a little kink with or obsession with a stripper, maybe.
Yeah, and that plays out this week, and it's interesting watching it from the point of what the producers are trying to make us not like him. Like right away, you could tell his name is Matt. We're like, why don't? Okay, well, the producers don't like him. So we're trying to figure out why, because the head of the agency loves him, gave him Realtor of the Year last year, but like literally he can't pay his own mortgage and had to sell his cars.
Yeah. I couldn't figure that out. I'm like, how do you become Realtor of the Year when he says like he's doing wasn't it his first Brokers Open?
Yeah.
And like, I'm
first house over $1 million.
Yeah.
And we were like, the math isn't mathing.
Yeah.
Production is trying to tell us something. And why does she like him so much when he appears to be such an asshole?
Yeah. I can't figure it out.
Well, this week we figure it out.
Okay.
And we also figure out where all his money's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. He's up in the club. It's really, really good. And then for Salt Lake City, of course, when we're recording this, the new episode has not come out yet. Now, Bravo did finally give me screeners for it, but they send the screener for Salt Lake City like Wednesday midday when the episode airs that night.
Yeah.
So that's not so early that you could like do your episode about it.
Yeah. I once got the screener, I think, on a Tuesday, but that was very like most of the time it's like just a few hours before.
You're like, that doesn't help me. The point is so I could record on Wednesday. When people get it on Thursday, we would have talked about the show Wednesday night.
Yeah.
January is all about fresh starts, and it's a great time to swap out the skincare products weighing your skin down in favor of a routine scientifically proven to transform your skin at the cellular level, something today's sponsor, OneSkin, knows all about. Their products are powered by OS1, which is a proprietary peptide the four founders, who were all skin longevity scientists, developed after testing 900 other peptides. And it's scientifically proven to switch off the aging dysfunctional cells that cause lines, wrinkles, and thinning skin. Hello, I have all of those things. Not only that, OneSkin's products are packed with nourishing ingredients that I cannot pronounce to naturally boost your collagen, reduce inflammation, and protect skin from environmental stressors while being totally free of irritants like sulfates and fragrance. Are you ready to detox your routine, improve your skin health, and look your best? Head over to oneskin.co and use code Pink Shade at checkout for an exclusive 15% off your first purchase. Y'all know I've been using OneSkin, the face topical supplement and the eye topical supplement for a long time. I use both of these things first thing in the morning and last thing at night. I put it on my bare face because if you have other things you just love and you don't want to get rid of, that's fine. You put OneSkin on under it and then whatever you want on top. It's made a huge difference, you guys. It's because of that collagen boosting thing they've got in there. I don't know how it works. I just know it works. OneSkin was founded by and is led by an all-woman team of skin longevity scientists. OneSkin is redefining the aging process with their proprietary OS1 peptide, the first ingredient proven to help skin look, feel, and behave like its younger self. Get 15% off with code PINKSHADE at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code PINKSHADE. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and say we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you. Okay, but let's talk about what we did have this week. So we've had Roni. Now, feelings on Roni right off the bat.
Like, I think like everyone, I was like feeling kind of like this feels too contrived. I was a big fan of Brynn first season,
Same.
huge fan.
Mhm.
And then she came in and I just felt like everything was like, she was trying to be Betty Boop. Everything was like exaggerated. I was like,
Yeah.
Brynn, you don't have to try this hard. You are a cool girl. You are hot. Like, just be yourself. But I think she got in her head. And I think people blow up. Here's the problem. People blow up Bravo Lebs way too soon. We're calling them mother. We're giving them all these titles. They're filling themselves after one season. No. You don't get to get that. You have to become a veteran to get that. But I think she was kind of feeling herself. And so she played into that more in the second season and was super aware.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was weird. And so I couldn't figure out. And then Uba, who it also felt weird, the attacks that she was also giving. Like, I'm like, is there something going on with Brynn that I'm not seeing? I understand that she's annoying, but the way Uba is attacking, I will say this last episode, the episodes in Puerto Rico have been a little more interesting because they actually are now, like, we're getting to the root of why they might hate each other. So now I'm actually interested.
That's what I said. I said, once we get to Puerto Rico, somehow that salt air is going to help them and we're going to get somewhere. I think we're towards the end, but we're getting somewhere.
Yes.
And this week, specifically, I was just, watching just to make a note here and there about what I was going to talk to you about. But Aaron and Sai and Brynn sitting outside and for a full, seemed like 30 minutes just talking shit about Jessel.
I know. And it was the most real moment because the thing is, like, I've definitely been where I've been like in a group of girls and we have talked like shit about someone for like, and it felt so real. But I also felt so bad for Jessel because I don't think she was deserving of it because like the criticisms she were getting were completely ridiculous. I'm like, of course she's taking pictures with her kids at her birthday party and getting glammed up. And you guys aren't really real friends in real life. You became friends on the show. So if you're going to events, it's most likely events where you have to be glammed up. Why would she be just looking like in sweatpants? Like, what did you expect?
Yeah. And I love how later she was like, Brynn bought her agent to my kid's birthday party. So I don't know what she's, and then they're like, Brynn's agent. So that was funny. But yeah, of course, if it's like, it looks like it was like in Central Park, it's like the kid's birthday. Of course, she's going to look good and have a photographer and it's for content. She is out there, social media. I think she is in marketing, right? Or PR?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it seems like she's always been, and she even like, I love that she even dropped the receipts of like showing a picture when she was 5. She's like, you don't understand. Like in my culture, like
Yeah.
I've been getting dressed up and diva'd up all my life. This is nothing new. And you also, and I'm like, it isn't nothing new. And also, Bran, why are you concerned about her new face and her veneers? We all know second season housewives look completely different from hers.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get to Beverly Hills, but I mean, Beverly Hills, when they did a flashback to Erica and Dorit the other day from 2020, I was like, wait, was there an event? Why does their hair look like that?
It is wild if you ever just like happen to catch a old episode. Before they started airing the Beverly Hills season, they were airing old Beverly Hills, and it was Dorit and PK with the kids meeting at a restaurant, and Dorit walks in holding Phoenix, and she's in a denim tank dress and like denim matching boots and I was like, wow. Wow. And she was it's not like a new face. It's just like better makeup, better hair, elevated style.
Oh,
But
I mean, and that's not the other day, like memories, pop up on your iPhone,
yeah,
and so many memories have been popping up from just, and I was looking at it and I was like, I had an old hairdresser when I first moved to LA, and now I have a hairdresser that I like. And I was like showing my friends, I was like, I can't believe you let me walk around. Like, look what this hairdresser. I was making videos. I was doing content with this hair.
you do have iconic hair. You really do. You really do. But the Jessel thing and talking about her teeth, and then she's like, sorry, not sorry. I go, okay, she didn't get them on the bottom. I don't know why, but she definitely got veneers on the top. But when they did that side by side, I took a picture of my TV because I was like, no, I'm going to study this myself. And I studied it. I was like, she really doesn't look that different other than her teeth are just straighter and wider, and her other teeth were completely fine.
Yeah.
So I don't,
It
she just
didn't,
made
it
me felt
didn't,
paranoid about her teeth and got them fixed. Who cares? She doesn't look that different to me.
I know, like that's the thing. Like you start seeing things when you're on TV. I was rewatching Summer House from the beginning,
Mhm.
and I mean, we know Carl has veneers now, and I don't know when he got them, but his first season, I was like, oh my God, his teeth are so yellow. And
Ew.
yeah, and it stood out to me. And like, and I was like, I don't know if he saw that and, decided to do something, but if I
Yeah.
had seen that, I would go immediately to the dentist and be like, fix this now.
Yes, yes. So I just didn't, them sitting around talking shit about Jessel did feel like a real girl moment thing that would
Yeah.
happen. Not just girls, guys do it too.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it at the same time because I was like, you're just like making fun of her because her house is super clean. Like, I mean,
Yeah, they're like
yeah,
price tag on the plant. I'm like, Bran, you literally did a whole photo shoot for your new apartment, like because I don't know, I'm sure someone paid for that. Like you
yeah.
weren't buying all of that furniture yourself. And
I,
come on.
I didn't like it. And then in a weird turn of events, they all decide to have a conscience and tell Jessel that they talk shit about her for 30 minutes. I was like, what are we doing?
Well,
What
that's
are we
where I
doing?
was like, this is when I knew it was being produced, right? Like those
Yeah.
are the moments where you're like, the producers are like, well, you should tell Jessel this and then someone probably told tell, Sai that she really needs to tell Jessel this if she wants to be a good friend. And Uba's like, okay, Uba has no problem stirring up shit.
I don't understand any of this. Now, the Uba saying Bryn slept with someone for the job, I think that was so Uba was all heated because she's like asleep, or I don't know if she has narcolepsy. She's asleep at dinner and they're all yelling at each other, and she didn't like the food and her stomach hurt or whatever. And I keep waiting for her to be like, my stomach hurts because I'm pregnant or something. But yeah, I keep waiting for something to come of this stomach ache.
Yeah.
But when they were getting in the van, and then Uba says, oh, well, you slept with somebody for this job. That was such a real moment because Bryn's like, excuse me.
Yeah.
She wasn't like, what? I'm a sexy baby. Everybody loves me. She wasn't doing that. She was like, fuck off. Like, don't say that. That's like a real thing to say about somebody, and that's not cool. But where is Uba getting this? Like, where is she getting this kernel to say something like this?
Well, that's why, because I believe, yeah, Aaron and Bryn have already had it out about the whole Jeff Lewis thing where Bryn accused Jeff
Right.
Lewis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the thing about Uba is that she probably knew subconsciously that was insecurity about Bryn and that people believed this about her. So diarrhea of the mouth, she just like said it, not really meaning it, but she knew it was something that was going to like completely get under her skin, because her whole goal anytime at going at Bryn is to just make her get under her skin to the point where she can't take it. And she knew that would set her off.
Yeah, so, all right. So we know because Jessel and Sutton were at that Hey You event, and that Jessel said somebody is asked to leave the trip, or somebody is sent home, or some such. Is it Uba or is it Bryn? Because it's going to be one of them.
I feel like it has to be probably, I don't know. I mean, I want to say Uba, but the thing is, Bryn always wants to leave, and she's the first one to be like, "I'm like packing my bag." She's like literally like 1 foot out the door anytime
Okay.
she feels like. So it might be Bryn.
Yeah. Because then what did you think about that thing that came out on social media where it was like, I've enjoyed my time, blah, blah, blah. And then it came down and she goes, oh, haha, I'm in St. Bart's. Like, I would never post something like that. And it's sort of like the Tina Knowles, like you got hacked for one post,
Yeah, I
you
was
know?
trying to figure out where that post even came from, because when I saw it online, I didn't even actually see Bryn's. Like, I didn't see it from a story. I just saw it and people were saying it was from Bryn. So I was just kind of like, I never believed it. So I just thought I had no idea.
It was on her account.
Oh,
And it
okay.
was, the black screen of death with the
Oh,
white
okay.
writing and I've enjoyed my time and I've learned so much. It was that kind of a PR written thing. And then it was gone. She's like, it's silly people. I would never post that. Lots of people, like Kate Casey was saying, she's like, I think she put that together to post it. And then, the reunion hasn't aired and posted it accidentally because you don't get hacked for one post. That's like Tina Knowles.
Interesting.
I only got hacked that one day where I liked the mean comments about my son-in-law, but otherwise I never got. If somebody's going to hack you, they're going to hack you. They're
Oh
not going to
yeah.
hack you to like one post. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, Gypsy Rose, when she got hacked, it was for days. It takes a while to recover your
yeah.
account, all these things. I've never seen an account come back like within hours.
Or they got hacked for one post or
Yeah,
one
or
thumbs
one
up. I mean,
post.
that makes no
Exactly.
sense. So I do think there's something to it. And
Hmm.
that's the conspiracy theorist in me. Like, okay, I think that we're going to see probably not that same statement because too many people screen grabbed it, something similar after the reunion, if in fact Bryn is planning on leaving.
I think that I wouldn't be surprised if she was preparing for that, just because she's having such a rough season.
Yeah.
She wants to get ahead of it. But I just can't see her giving up that easily either. It would be,
Giving up the job.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, look, I think most of the housewives these days need the job. We aren't having like, old money kind of come into
Yeah.
these shows.
Right.
People,
Yeah.
this is their paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of that, Rebecca Minkoff, I did listen as again, now that we're getting towards the end, something's happening with her where she's sort of like, why am I the butt of the joke? Fuck these people. Where, she was saying something at that dinner. I can't remember what. She's out loud to the whole crowd saying something.
Yeah.
And then later she goes, yeah, I knew it wouldn't matter because nobody listens to me.
Oh yeah, she was trying to defend Jessel, I believe. She was defending Jessel, and they're just like, it doesn't even matter. Because
Nobody cares.
yeah.
But I think a lot of people, their problem with the show is like Uba's got this full other life and boyfriend that we don't see. Jenna Lyons has a whole fiance that we do not see. And so people are like, if you're going to be on you gotta show it all, and they're not.
Well, that's the thing, but that's why with Jenna, because she's not showing that, that's why I feel like she's showing us pictures of her vagina and like the long hair it has. She's going overboard on other things because she's, not showing those other parts. And I
Yeah.
think Uba's reaction is, let me just be loud and start fights. And that's how and so that's where it gets like a little bit like, oh, you're
Yeah.
too contrived.
But I think you don't have to show Uba's boyfriend every week. You don't have to show Jenna's fiance every week. But just like, do they come to a party? Are you in the house and they're in the kitchen and you say hello? Like, we don't see Sai's husband very often, but we know what he looks like. He's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's and I mean, we could do. I could get more of Jessel's husband, Pavitt. He's hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. For
He's
sure.
funny.
I
Oh my
know.
God.
And they were also acting. That was another part of the talking shit session where they were
Yes.
saying that, like, she wasn't in love with Pavitt. She was in love with this other dude, but she couldn't be with him because he wasn't Indian. And, like, what would it feel like? And I can't see them having sex at all. Like, you could see me and Abe having sex, but, like, I could never see Pavitt and Jessel having. It's just like,
Yeah, it was a
really?
lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot. I didn't like any of that. And thoughts on showing pictures of your husband's penis to other people?
I would never. So the thing, the last time I ever showed a picture of the guy I was dating's penis,
Yeah.
because I thought he was just going to be like a hookup, I
Yeah.
ended up dating him for several years, and then I felt
Oh,
awkward
wow.
because now all my friends have seen his giant
So
penis.
you've done this, is what I'm
But
hearing.
I
You've
was
done it. Yeah.
literally in my like early 20s. So it's
Yeah.
like, but now, like, because I know better, like, you never know if a situationship will become a relationship. So yeah, I don't show it, and I wouldn't do
Oh,
that.
and she's aware that this is her husband. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get that. And then I liked how at the table, they were all like, wow, I would never do that. And they're kind of like joking about it. And you could tell, she goes, let's not make this a thing. I was like, it is a thing. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I would never. Well, first of all, I'm too old. Like nobody I know like sends pictures like that because that's just not in our wheelhouse of
Yeah.
our age. But even if first of all, I don't want a dick pic. I don't want one. I don't want to see one. I don't want to see one in real life. I don't want to see one in a picture. I don't. The mystery is good for me. I don't
Yeah.
need to. I don't need to know. Raquel was on Watch What Happens Live with Erica and last night, and Mel was in the audience. And I had researched a little bit about Mel because I'm kind of in love with Mel myself.
Yeah.
I find her fascinating, and she is a neuropsychologist. But what she does is she she's a forensic neuropsychologist. So she interviews people for their mental well-being for trials. She works with lawyers.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So she said on Watch What Happens Live that like the Tom Girardi situation, that's what she would be doing, would be evaluating somebody like Tom Girardi for the prosecution or the defense, depending on what side she's working for his competency. And she's like, that is literally what she does.
I
And
love
it was
that.
kind of interesting because the two of them, Erica and Mel, with Mel in the audience, got into a total sidebar conversation about it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and then Andy was asking Mel. I think this might have been on the after show. Andy was asking Mel, because you're obviously in this very known profession, is that hard for you? Could people recognize you and not? And she was like, no, I'm really just here to be an accessory to Raquel, which is just in our life how it is. She goes, so no, if people recognize me, it's not so much that they think I can't be professional or anything like that. But I mean, she's like a real serious badass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I'm into them. I'm into
Yeah.
Raquel and Mel a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into them, and I want I want Jenna to stay on too, but it's just like, can we see your girlfriend there in the kitchen? Can we just say hi on the street, like something?
I feel like because now that her son is about to go to college and she won't really have anyone else in the house, I feel like if there's another season, she knows that she'll have to pull her in because,
Yeah,
yeah.
just briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Just briefly. When it comes to grocery shopping and meal planning, I've got a problem. Everybody in my house is always coming and going, and I never know if I need to serve somebody a full meal, like a little snack or a lunch or a dinner or what. But my problem has been solved thanks to Hungry Root. It is the easiest way to eat healthy and get everyone's needs met in your house. Shopping, planning, and cooking food really can be simple and stress-free with Hungry Root. No kidding. You just tell them about your goals and preferences, and they fill your cart with personalized recommendations. They get smarter as they learn more about like what you did and didn't like. There's no high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, or preservatives in any of Hungry Root's food. They only source top quality meat and seafood free of hormones and antibiotics. Okay, so I tried Hungry Root for the first time recently. I love filling out an online form, and they ask so many specific questions about what you need and what the people in your house need. I really felt like my box was put together by my own personal grocery shopper. I'm not kidding. I got a couple of specific recipes and then some amazing snacks and some great breakfast foods that I was able to just pull out for quick breakfast. It was literally perfect. And we liked every single thing they sent, every single thing. Now I can go back in and say what our needs are for next week, right? Do we need more dinners? Do we need less breakfast? Because around here, it changes every week. And that is why Hungry Root is perfect. You're going to love Hungry Root as much as I do. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, take 40% off your first box plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/pinkshade and use code pinkshade. That's hungryroot.com/pinkshade, code pinkshade, and get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/pinkshade, code pinkshade. Thanks. Okay, so that's Roni. Let's talk about Beverly Hills. So Garcelle talking about Oliver was so I think a lot of criticism has been on Garcelle that all she does is talk about like I can't believe I made a movie. I can't believe I have a house. I can't, she's always sort of um as well, she should be proud of these things. She shouldn't have any story. It's just more of, hey, I directed a movie or hey, I bought this house. She doesn't really have a story. So her really talking about the situation with Oliver and of course the grandkids and everything, I thought was great. I think it gave us a lot of depth to Garcelle, kind of what she's been through in her life. And then to have Oliver sitting there, sober, being a dad, even though he does have a dollar bill right under his eye, which is, you can get that removed. And he is so good looking too.
Yeah.
So I was glad to see a different side of Garcelle because I feel like the last couple of seasons has just sort of been her being like, look at me, I built a house. Look at me, I'm in a play.
Yeah, it was the most humanizing moment she's had, yeah, for a while because that's first of all, that is very vulnerable thing to put out there because
Mhm.
to admit that you just like let your child, because people talk about like you got to give tough love, but they
Yeah.
don't practice it. They really they have a hard time practicing it. And the fact that she said, no, like you're not getting in here and I'm going to let you walk away because I don't know this person at my door. Like,
Describing it was just,
mm-hmm.
mm, mm.
Yeah. So, I'm sure obviously she had had a conversation with Oliver. He
Yeah.
was comfortable with it and that whole thing. And I like these conversations that we're having because I do want to start destigmatizing the stuff because these are real life moments that a lot of people in this country, in the world, are having.
Yeah.
And to know that like a really famous person is also going through it, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. And what were your thoughts on the whole Mary Cosby and her son thing? And I'll just tell you my background. My husband is 10 years sober, but before that 10 years, wasn't so great around here. And I've talked about it a lot on the podcast. He's 10 years sober. We're very proud of him, but it is hard to talk about. And it is sort of one of those things of you never know what's going on in someone's home.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have in my family a cousin who passed away many years ago, but his parents had to do tough love and say, "We're not giving you any more money. We're not going to make the car payments on your car. Whatever happens to it, it's in your name. It'll get repossessed. Like we're not doing it anymore with you. You're not allowed in our home." The whole thing
Yeah.
for his addiction issues, and they really the dad really did do it. The mom would go behind the back and give him money, and that then divides the marriage and it is such a real thing. And the thing
Yeah.
with Mary Cosby and her son, I felt it was so real and so raw, but lots of people weighed in. I think like Jill's daughter weighed in to
Yeah.
say, he's a kid. Well, I mean, he's in his 20s, but to have that on TV and he definitely couldn't have consented to that. What were your thoughts on the Mary Cosby son thing?
I got where Allie was coming from, but I disagreed with it because, like, I was in a relationship with someone for years who was an addict. And I will say that in the beginning episodes, every time I saw Robert Jr., I knew something was going on. And it was triggering me because like certain things I was just like, oh, I like this is making me like uncomfortable, but nobody's saying anything. And I was really scared they were going to go through the whole season and just like blind eye it. Right. And so I was like,
He's always in his room.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was very happy that they addressed it because I was like, good. I'm glad we're not pretending that nothing is happening. There's no issue here. And I got why Mary was trying to protect him in those moments because she knew that like she had to do something, but she's also, she is trying to protect her son, but she's like, I got it. Like it's gone too far and we have to handle this. And
She apparently has no husband there helping her. He's in Florida or Vegas, wherever the hell he is.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so again, it was the most humanizing moment of Mary Cosby we've seen. Like we make fun of Mary, I always talk about how Mary has blocked me but I still love her and all of these things, but like I loved it. I felt like it was like an Emmy worthy moment.
It was compelling because we do see Mary as sort of like, the sharp tongue and then she's a little, batty and all that. But, she allegedly ran a cult. But this thing with her son, there's no two ways around it. It was just the two of them in that room, and the cameraman. And what he was saying it was so interesting that he just sort of came right out with it like, oh, I took a Xanax because I took an Adderall. And he's just explaining it so matter of fact. And I talked to John Hill about it. and he had had a similar type of addiction in his life. And he said, oh, yeah, everything he was saying made sense to me. You take the Adderall, but then you're too up. So you got to take the Xanax to bring it down, but then you're too down. So you get some cocaine and then you're too up. So you got to take and when you're in that cycle, just to say it didn't make him think anything was bad or weird about it. But Mary Cosby, knowing nothing about any of this, was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to think how far it had gone, she did not know as a parent too.
Yeah.
And you could see it if you're in a relationship with someone or you're a parent of someone, you're that close and you don't know. And it's sort of back to the Twitch and the Allison Volker thing. Like she had no idea.
Yeah.
So I think it was very important. And I think the thing about Oliver was also, I think she definitely cleared it with him. And he probably said, yeah, you can tell what I did because I'm on the other side of it. And maybe you could help other parents not feel so alone.
Yeah.
Again, with Beverly Hills, it always delivers. It always delivers. And we did meet Boja's boyfriend, Keely, like we said. Now, had she said that she had a boyfriend, or was this just like sprung upon us?
I felt like maybe in one episode there was a hint of it, but like I don't feel like it was really talked about at all. Like we mostly
they're talking marriage.
Like it was clearly a very serious relationship. And so again, maybe she was trying to protect him, and maybe as the season went on, as the producers were talking, they were kind of like, okay, well, yeah, but we, if you want to be full time, we're gonna have to see,
Yeah. She's interesting because she's so obviously accomplished, and I do like how kind of right off the bat in her confessionals and stuff, she's like bringing it. She is shading people. She is like, these people are crazy. I liked it. She wasn't shying away, which I liked. I like her.
And I will say this. I also love that her and Dorit have established such a great friendship off the bat, only because
very unlikely pairing.
Dorit and Garcelle were always butting heads. And I feel like for some reason, I feel like her friendship with Bose is going to force Garcelle to have to come at Dorit in a different way, which I think that's why Garcelle's like, I'm going to have to do like different tricks this time. So I kind of like that.
I liked it too. And I think, getting in with Dorit is smart. And now that everybody's like, well, Dorit had nobody else to talk to. But I liked Erica having Martin Ballard over to decorate her place. I like how right away he was like, you are better than these 3 flowers in this vase. You are better than this.
And it was nice to see because, again, we only usually see like certain parts of Erica's place. Or she even admitted, I think, on the podcast that she was using Kyle's like makeup room to do glam one time because maybe her. And so it was nice to see them walk around and see her bedroom. Like there was stuff on the floor. Like there was books that were piled. There wasn't a place for it. And like that humanized Erica for the first time in a long time.
He's like, you're trying to catch a man in this room. I liked all of it because she does like have her glam, like that mirror with the bulbs in her kitchen.
Yeah.
And like, girl, that bedroom is big enough. You could have a whole corner for glam. That bedroom is big.
That house is big. I mean, come on.
Organized.
She has a pool. She has a cabana. Like, I know she's downgraded, but that is still a very nice LA home.
It's so funny too, because he was like, all the grass between the tiles by the pool is all dead. He goes, we're just not going to look over there. I liked it because he was just like, I'm not going to come in here and sugarcoat this. Like, this is a disaster. What are you doing? I liked it. He's like, that light fixture is hideous.
It was too. I was like,
what is that? It looks like sticks.
Yeah.
So I loved that. I love the lighter Erica. She was great on Watch What Happens Live. She was very easy breezy. And I enjoy that when she's moved on from this vitriol that she had. She's maybe taught herself how to do the empathy thing. She's doing better. Now at the end where we see Dorit and Kyle fighting, and you did notice that Erica got up and went over to Dorit. And Erica said on Watch What Happens Live, the reason she did that, she goes, I've really never been in a situation where people are lunging at each other. She said they were lunging at each other, and I've not really been around that. So I was like, oh my God, it's like Jersey, like they're lunging at each other. But that turned real quick. It seemed like it was going to be okay. And Dorit's fighting with Sutton, and then goes over to Kyle. And that's why Sutton's like, why don't you talk to your real friend? Talk to your real friend. And Kyle's like, wait, me? Wait, why am I getting dragged into this?
And I think that like Sutton is in flames, which makes Dorit feel annoyed, and then Kyle feels strength from Sutton backing her up. And so, and I think a lot of the people at the table, give strength to Kyle, but I want Kyle to sit for a second and be like, I mean, at least Garcelle was off the bat like, well, if someone texted your ex-husband, would you have a problem? And everyone at the table was like, yeah. And so it was like just a little reflection. I don't know why
She was
Kyle
like,
was
no, that would be fine.
like, it's absolutely not fine. Like,
Not
you would
fine.
literally like behead to read if she was texting Mo.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's weird too, because it's like we're just sending funny memes back and forth as you do with friends, which is what friends do. But I think Dorit's point is so valid to be like, we are not getting along and he is looking for everything. So if he's going to use that he's talking to my former best friend as like, even her friends don't like her, or I think Dorit's whole thing is like, is he trying to get information from you about my life and what I'm doing? And that's her concern. And Kyle's like, I just see it as he sends me like a funny Honey Boo Boo meme once in a while. Like, but Kyle is, she should say, okay, this bothers you. I won't do it anymore. And like, I'm sorry, and be done. But it kept on and it kept on.
It kept on. She wanted to
Yes.
she's like, she just wanted to find the one thing because she knew she was in the wrong. And in the confessional, she's like, she just wanted to find the one thing that, I did wrong and poke at it. And PK's been a better friend. And I'm like, no, PK has not been a better friend. You're just annoyed that she's calling you out on things that like you don't like being wrong. And that's okay. But you bring up a good point, because I will say, when I cut people out of my life, and I have friends who are also mutual friends, I tell my friends, look, I'm not a child. People have friendships. If you want to continue a friendship with them, I don't care. Just know that our friendship may change because I have to wall myself off because I don't want them to have access to me or my life in any way. And I don't know if you're going to share some of those things. So just understand that like we might have a bit of a wall because I might not share so much with you. And so, I mean, that could be it too.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle could accidentally say, "Oh, we filmed this blah blah blah, and this happened." She could, and not know that it's a contentious thing between the two of them. And now PK's got this information, and it's sort of like it's best just not to choose sides. But I mean, at the end of the day, is being friends with PK really important? No, it's more important to keep Dorit even as a side friend, because you are on a TV show together.
Yeah.
Well, I got to say, Erica was also great on Watch What Happens Live. So I'd recommend everybody watching that. And then I went and was just like clicked on the Facebook after show.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
And there was 136 people on it. I was not 1,000.
Huh.
136. I was like, whoa, okay, so nobody watches this.
Well, I think nobody watches it live because I didn't realize it was like, does it have do they just post it? Because I always watch it on like my app on my TV later.
Oh, okay. So no, because they always go, oh, and join us for the Facebook Live. And it's only like 5 or 6 minutes. It's no biggie. Okay. So I just like.
Oh, the Watch What Happens Live. Oh, yeah. I don't think I've ever watched that.
The Watch What Happens Live, like after show. Oh, and it's like 5 or 6 minutes. But that's when Erica was really talking to Mel and the audience. And I was watching because John Hill's on there. And, he's a mutual friend of ours. And I was like, let me see what funny thing John's going to say.
Yeah.
He was very funny, Kiki. He did 5 New Year's resolutions for Andy.
I saw that, yeah.
You got to get rid of them kids.
Yeah, get rid of them kids.
Which is funny because on the show, he's always like, oh, nobody wants to hear about your children. I was like, I do. I want to hear about his children.
I know. His kids are cute.
His kids are cute. I do like to hear about him. And John's like, nobody cares. I was like, oh my God, so mean. All right, let's scooch over to Potomac. So, of course, we had lots and lots of news that you covered over there on the Talk of Shame about the videos coming out from Karen's arrest. Now, this week's episode, none of this is a good look for Karen.
No.
This week she's doubling down on the whole like, I don't know why everybody keeps saying I'm sober. I don't have to be sober. I was like, oh God, Karen.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I will say the hardest part about watching reality shows is like, and the way we use social media and Bravo accounts now, like we know too much information for there to be that long of a delay. Like you're going to have to start releasing these seasons way sooner because we're going to have to now watch the rest of the season of Karen trying to gaslight us into believing that this was all a mistake when we already know she's been found guilty on 5 charges and we've seen all the videos.
And she tried to fight
Thomas
it.
Jefferson concubine. This the way I would fire and probably sue my attorney if he knew that those videos existed.
Mhm.
I would be like, let's take a plea and like let's make sure that that is sealed. I want those videos
Yes.
never released. I will take a plea, whatever we need to do.
Yes.
Don't fight it. Who cares?
Yeah.
You are look, if you lose your license for a couple years, who cares? You have a husband, there's Uber, you're fine. You don't work a 9 to 5 job. You don't need to be on the road every day. It sucks, but you'll
Yeah.
be fine.
Yeah.
That's what happened. There's no way.
Did you hear Robin and Giselle? I heard the clip from their
Yes.
podcast. I love how Robin has no fucks to give. She's like, I'm not on this show. What do I care?
Well, and the reality is Karen came for her and her marriage as we wanted her to because
Yeah.
Juan was out there doing whatever Juan was doing. And so Karen was doing exactly that. But of course, Robin is going to have no loyalty and she's going to talk about her because she's like, the way you dragged me in my marriage, of course
Yeah.
I'm going to drag you in your DUI.
But she said on that Karen had 4 DUIs.
I know. And I was like, 4. I've heard 2, but
2
4?
since she's been on this show. So
I was like, 4. I was like, I literally was like, is that verified? Because
I did you Google it? I Googled it. I Googled it right away.
Did you find
how
4?
many DUIs has Karen Huger had? And then it's like, according to Robin Dixon, she's had 4. I go, okay, well, I just heard that. I need more.
Well, she put that. It's I'm saying she put that on Google. This is weird.
I was like, okay, well, Google is just repeating what I just heard. It probably listened to my phone and put that in. So I don't know if she's had 4 DUIs, she is actually going to be going to jail for a length of time.
I mean, she will. That's what I'm saying. If it's 4, I don't know.
4 is a lot, but the fact that so we saw on the show, she went to court and then they passed it down the line. And then she went to court again in November and they, gave it another 3 weeks or whatever before she was sentenced. So she's really wasted the court's time is what I'm saying. Twice she's been in and they've lengthened it out before she actually had to go. All this time, just, I'm completely innocent. There's absolutely nothing to see here. And they're like, they didn't just say you got a DUI and that was it. You had 8 charges. You've been convicted on 5. You did it, and now we have video proof. I wouldn't want video proof of me on my drunkest night saying the stupidest shit. And I'm not famous. Do you know what I mean?
The way, and I'm going to take it back to OC for a second, because not that it was right, but the way Shannon Bedore immediately was like, pay John whatever he wants. The minute she thought there was Ring camera footage of the night she was wasted that may be released, they were,
yeah,
she was like, shut it down, because exactly that, like, we all knew she was drunk because she got a DUI, but even if I didn't get arrested and I was just drunk, I mean, the other night, New Year's, like, I don't even want to see, like,
you want to go look at your phone, what you recorded the next
remember
day.
when you did that? And I was like, no, but like, I don't want to hear.
Don't tell me what I did. Yeah, it's really, really bad. And the stuff that she was saying, and I'm Thomas Jefferson's concubine, and you're white and you're poor, which, I mean, the memes for the ages. I mean, just Thomas Jefferson's concubine. I can't even kind of like get where the string was that led her to that.
In my head, because again, I was also born in Virginia. So it's like, I have this like very like, I get where you're maybe going because Thomas Jefferson had a lot of illegitimate kids with slaves and I get it. But it's
I understand that.
I don't know how that came into your head while you were like drunk in a police patrol car.
Yes. I didn't understand. And then she kept like looking to Ray, like they would say, we need your driver's license. She's like, well, Ray. And he's like, I don't know where your driver's license is. By the way, she didn't have one. She was driving without a license.
Meme I saw was, I mean, because Ray was digging in that purse. Somebody was like, Ray was digging in that purse like it was like it was like 9,000 gallons. Like it was literally a little clutch purse.
He was like, I can't find it because she doesn't have a driver's license because of her last DUI. And listen, we cannot blame mom and dad dying 5 years ago and your bad marriage on this. Yeah. I mean, it's just, she's going to have to come correct like Shannon Bedore. She's going to have to come and say, I did a terrible thing. I made a bad mistake. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. And especially in Shannon's case, she's like, I have 3 daughters. I'm trying to be a better person for them. This was a huge mistake. I have gone to an outpatient treatment. I have done this, but Karen's just like, I'm not sober. I don't know why they keep trying to give us these non-alcoholic drinks. I don't know why. I'm like,
Like, girl.
You should just pretend.
Yeah.
Pretend. Jeez, that's bad. And then also on Potomac, we have everybody piling on Mia this week. And, eventually it's everybody's turn. Well, right now it's Mia's turn. Everybody's piling on her. They're saying she's flip flopping back and forth with this Gordon and this ink. And then I think we did see an actual real panic attack when she did not exactly know where her kids were because Gordon had dropped them off. She didn't know where. It's not like they're little. Um, but then we do see this week that Mia has broken up with Ink. They've broken up. And is his real name like incorporated? What does Ink stand for?
Incognito.
Incognito. Okay. Thank you. I knew it was INC something. And then that, people say on the social media, she's hinting she's back with Gordon. Now, thoughts?
Honestly, and I haven't read the Essence article. I know there was an Essence article that came out about her, but I will say this. The pile-on is deserved because by the end of that episode, I was convinced that the kidnapping of the kids or whatever you want to call it was also another storyline because I was like, she keeps throwing Gordon under the bus for a lot of things, but I was like, okay, if he really did do this, okay. But the way she was able to call the person immediately and say, oh, so your mom has them. Okay, so you have them. I said, okay, so you had a direct link to somebody that you already thought it was. It wasn't like it was like you had no idea where they were in Virginia. He just drove them 4 hours to Virginia. You called immediately and they were like, yeah, my mom has them. Oh, and this was an old nanny we used to use. Okay. So once that came out, I said, like, I just feel like she's using her kids in every possible way, and I don't like it. And not only her kids, she's now using Giselle's kids to try to get like some screen time, and I don't like it at all.
I like how Giselle goes, I have 3 teenage daughters. Yeah, they're going to sneak boys in the house.
Exactly.
Like, of course. Like, what do you think? What are you trying to like make it sound like something bad? Like, everybody does that. I mean, come on now. Mia, I got to tell you though, she was one of the nicest people I've met at BravoCon.
No, the thing is, and I have loved Mia, and I found out we were birthday twins this year, so I like reposted. I've always loved her. Only in these last like 2 or 3 episodes, I've turned on her. And again, I've always said the sign of a good housewife is one that, you can like hate one day and like love the next.
Yeah.
Because it means you're feeling the feels.
Yes.
But I don't like her in this moment.
I think there's very few that were ever like, we could never, like Jennifer Tilly, she'll always just be a delight.
Yeah. And that's why I think I think that we've lost the art of the perfect friend of. Everybody wants to turn immediately into a housewife. And I'm kind of like, Brittany Bateman right now, she bothered me. I'm liking her. I don't want to see her as a full-time housewife. Keep her as a friend of. Yeah. And because also friends of her still revealing just as much as their life. And,
Yeah. And what about that sweet girl in Salt Lake, Melee? It's just like, did they try to make her happen and then they realized right at the beginning she was a nothing burger, so they edited her out?
I don't know.
She's still around.
That's why I was like, is she in the, because I'm like, is she in the, she's not in the thing though. She's not full-time. She's a friend, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what her purpose is. Every time she pops up, I'm like, who is that? I'm like,
me too. I'm like, wait, she went curling with who?
Yeah.
Who's that? Lisa Barlow shows up again on Sold on SLC this week, by the way.
Okay.
She's got some real opinions about Matt, the guy in the strip club
really?
guy. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, oh my goodness, you have to tip those strippers a lot. So funny. She's like, stripes are in for 2024. It's so crazy. What about Ashley? Do we know if Ashley is still with that guy?
I don't believe that love story is a real love story. I mean, I think that it was a situation where he was cute enough. She didn't mind hooking up with him and, but there's nothing really happening there. Cause the reality is without Michael, she doesn't really have a lot going on. And like, he's not allowing, I'm surprised he's even allowing the kids to even, be on the show. Cause he's so like,
Here's something interesting. So Ashley, I live here. She lives here. And once after the John Hill show, we had dinner and she was there and with her friends. And it was, and Mandy Slutzker from Is This Real Life with Me? Okay. So Mandy was with us and Ashley was a delight and she's great. Well, now Ashley sees Ingrid, my producer, all the time at the gym. And they chat at the gym. And so, Ingrid's always like, will you come on the show? And she goes, yeah, I'll come on the show, but I don't really want to talk about the show. I want to talk about like other things. And I'm like, okay, well, give me a subject because What are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about? And another interesting fact about Ashley is that Michael Darby plays golf a lot with my best friend's husband.
Oh, really?
And he didn't know anything about anything. And he
That's
came home
funny.
and told my friend who lives down the street, said, yeah, I played golf with this guy, Michael Darby. His wife is on one of those housewife shows. And my friend's like, excuse me? Who? And he goes, Michael Darby? And she's like, you're kidding. You're kidding. He goes, yeah, he like FaceTimed his kids. And my friend was dying. She was like, oh my God, he's this, he's that, he's a this. And she's like railing on him about what a bad guy he is. He goes, all I know is I'm trying to sell him some insurance. Okay.
Right?
I
You
just
know,
don't need to know
I don't need
about
to
his.
know these other things about Gollum and all these. No.
He didn't try to grab my ass. We just played golf.
Exactly.
Just played golf. Yeah. So it's kind of funny too. Like the people that live in LA will have these run-ins, with the housewives and stuff. I'm like, we got the Potomac ladies.
I love it.
And really it's just Ashley. I did see Giselle one time on the mall, like looking at the cherry blossoms.
Oh, nice.
Like walking around with her daughters. I was like, see, she's just like us.
Just like us.
Fighting the traffic to look at the cherry blossoms. Yeah. And I did see Karen one time in the train station in New York, coming from New York to DC, and chatted with her. Yeah.
Love it.
Listen, I'm right here in the thick of it. Yet it's my least favorite show.
Really?
Yeah, it is. And I don't know why. And I watch it every week because I really like to look at Giselle because she's so pretty.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated by Karen's delusion. I love too how Karen in that video was like, Andy gave me that name.
Oh my God.
I was like, really? I thought you gave it to yourself.
I know. I'm sure when Andy heard his name dropped in a DUI video, he was so excited.
He's like, Andy Cohen. And the cop's like, ma'am, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
and why was she in the front seat?
That's what I was trying to figure out too. I had a lot of questions.
Was it because she was so like, whoa, that he was
maybe
like, I'm never going to be able to get her in the back?
Yeah, maybe because he was so drunk. Like maybe they had to put her in a full seat. Or maybe she asked for it. Maybe she said she gets car sick if she's in the back.
Yeah, and God knows she was sick already. But I mean, for her to get out of that car and be like, I am lit.
Oh my God, the wig. I was just like, somebody fix her wig, Ray. Fix her wig.
Ray doesn't know. Those poor white cops didn't know. Nobody knew to fix that wig. Oh my God. Listen, we are laughing about it, but I have to tell you, I mean, she was, in addition to speeding and hitting a tree and all the things that happened, I mean, for real, any other car that would have come across her, that would have been a really bad situation.
Oh yeah. Oh, I have a piece of her car behind me.
No, what are you? No way, Kiki. Let me see it. Do you have Shannon Bedore's piece of her car too?
This is piece of Shannon. So I haven't got my, thing, but this is pieces of, they're still in the bag that I had a follower who lives in the area sent me of her Maserati. And then this is a piece of Shannon's car. And I'm going to make a little display on my little pop culture.
All right. You go to Michael's and ask for like a shadow box and get them mounted in the shadow box with, it's got to have a label under it, like a little plaque telling what it is.
Yeah.
I love this for you. I love it. I love it. Oh my God. All right. Well, I've taken enough of your time. I know you've got busy and important news to cover, but so everybody, you can listen to Kiki over on Reality Check on Radio Andy's on Mondays, sometimes Thursdays. And your Instagram is where it's at. And you do TikTok as the same thing?
I do TikTok and Instagram. We'll see if it, is banned or not, but I will definitely be on Instagram for sure at The Talk of Shame.
The Talk of Shame. And you guys, she really does, like she said, she breaks it down. Now, what did you say? News that we're nosy about?
News we're nosy about. Yep.
That's perfect. That's perfect because it's not always Bravo News. It is other things. You guys, that's where I get all my news. It's The Talk of Shame. I'm not even kidding. I was telling Kimberly, who hosts with me on Tuesdays, we're covering 90 Day. And I was telling her that you're coming on. She goes, oh, I follow her. And I said, yeah. I go, she's cute. The curly hair. She goes, yeah. She goes, that's where I get my news. I was like, me too. So you guys go follow Kiki so you can get all your news, and follow me on Instagram as well at Pink Shade Pod. And I'm just doing silly reels over there about Love After Lockup prisoners and my Bravo people. Don't hang up. And thanks again, Kiki. And I'll talk to you soon. episodes not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.